Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Austin here, or Luna. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday today. I just woke up. It's 6 p.m., 6:12, as I'm looking at the clock right now. My sleep schedule is so good. Yeah, there's no better feeling than waking up at 6 p.m., not knowing if it's 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. It's great. But yeah, I'm here. I'm making this video. It's a crazy one. It's an interesting one. It's one of my favorites. I know I say that about a lot of my stories, but it is really one of my favorites. Like, I promise. You'll see why. This is good. This ain't like anything else on this channel, I promise. So, today's story time, it all takes place back in 2014. Now, in 2014, I do not know why, but I surrounded myself with some of the worst friends in my entire life. This takes place when I was 15. Yeah, so it was the summer of 2014. I was 15 years old. And life was going pretty good back then from what I remember. I definitely was getting in a little bit of trouble back then. I wasn't the best, kid. But my friends were a lot worse. And what I mean by that is, like, they were really not that good. Like, at 15, I had 2 friends that were on probation. Being on probation at 15 is insane. Like, you kind of had to, like, try to be on probation back then. Like, you have to get in trouble so many times in a row or do something so terrible that they put you on probation as a minor. And, like, that's pretty wild to me. I've definitely, like, met people at 16, 17 that are on probation. I'm like, okay, like, makes a little more sense. They're closer to adulthood. But 15, it's very young to be on probation. And I had 2 friends that were both 15 and both on probation. Now, today's story time is about one of those friends. We'll just call him Alex, okay? Now, I had met Alex at 14 in school, and we became close pretty fast. And like I said earlier, he was definitely one of those friends that wasn't the best kid. Now, I wasn't a saint either. I definitely, had my fair share of being a shithead teenager. But yeah, Alex was on probation. Now, you're probably wondering, Austin, what was Alex on probation for? It was a lot of stuff. I remember he got caught smoking in school at one point. And then after that, he got caught smoking in school 2 weeks later again. He got kicked out of school. And then he got kicked out of his other school for fighting. He got like 3 different fights. Then outside of school, he kept getting in fights as well and getting caught with weed and stuff. And at one point, he ran from the police. And it was a bunch of stuff in such a short period of time that he essentially had to get put on probation. I also want to add that he wasn't the best at talking to people. And what I mean by that is, like, when he would get caught by the police and he would get in trouble at school, instead of being like apologetic or like, trying to be nice and, sorry about it, kind of like how I would, he would just shit talk. I remember one time he got into an argument with a mall security guard and, like, they were about to kick us out of the mall. And instead of just being like, yeah, my bad, man, like, we'll chill out, he was like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Do some shit. Do it. Come on, do some shit. You can't do shit. And then naturally we got kicked out of the mall. Now, I know after I say that, some of you are probably like, dude, this Alex dude sounds like an asshole. Why'd you even hang out with him? He sounded like a total dick. He really wasn't. Even though, like, he got in a bunch of trouble and was kind of a hothead, he was a good kid. Like, when he wasn't in those bad moods and when he wasn't being such a shithead, he was a really good kid. And to this day, I actually still talk to him, and he's actually way better now. So that's kind of good to know. But yeah, anyway, Alex, back when we were 15, was definitely a little bit of a shithead. That's all I'm saying, right? So this all starts off as a normal day back then. It was summer, like I said, so I had nothing planned on this day. So I woke up with pretty much almost full freedom to do whatever I wanted. I could, play video games. I could hang out with friends if I wanted to. Pretty much anything I wanted to do, I could probably do it as long as I asked my mom, right? So I woke up on this day around like 11:30 a.m., 12 p.m. That's pretty much when I woke up every day during summertime. And I really wanted to like do something. I knew that. I wanted to like do something. So I jumped up out of bed, took a shower, got ready for my day, and then I jumped on Xbox where a bunch of my IRL friends were in a party. And I joined and I was like, yo, what's up, guys? And they were like, not much, just playing COD. And I was like, all right, I'm probably not going to play or like be on for too long because I'm trying to do some shit today. Do you guys want to do anything? Like, I'm trying to link up. And for some reason, nobody wanted to do anything except Alex. Alex was in there and he was like, yeah, I'm down, man. So most of my friends just stayed on Xbox and kept playing COD when Alex was like, yeah, man, I'm down. So after this, I jumped off Xbox like 5-10 minutes later after talking to them for a little bit. Alex said he'd be at my house in about 30 minutes. So I just kind of wanted to get ready for that. So I ate something really quick. I ate some food. And just kind of, quickly got ready, got dressed into some nicer clothes because me and Alex are probably going to be going out of the house. And I didn't want to just wear some like lounge clothes, some like pajamas. So I ended up getting ready pretty quick. And then I just kind of sat around for like 10 minutes. And then Alex pulled up. Actually, he rode up. He was on his bike. And he came in, and me, him, and my mom kicked it for a little bit. My mom was at the table, like eating something, and we kicked it with her for a little bit. And she asked us what we were going to get up to today. And I asked her if it was cool if we went to the mall, if we rode our bikes there. And she was like, that's fine. Just, stay out of trouble. And I was like, I will. I lied. We didn't stay out of trouble. You'll hear why in a minute. But anyway, after that, we jumped on our bikes and we rode over to the mall. Now, the mall that I lived in near growing up was a pretty nice mall at the time. I liked it. I loved it. It was fun. I was there a lot in my childhood. I talk about it a lot in these stories. But on weekends and during the summertime, they had a curfew. So if you were under 17 and you didn't have an adult, you would get kicked out if it was past like 4 p.m. Now, luckily, we were at the mall before curfew. We got there at probably 1 or 2, something like that. I don't know. It was before curfew. We had a couple hours before we had to get kicked out or leave. So we were good, right? We had some time to chill. So I did what I always do at the mall. I went to Taco Bell and then I ate it at one of the tables. And it's funny because I literally just eaten at home, but I was so Taco Bell addicted that I ate it anyway when I wasn't even that hungry. Also, I had a family member working at that Taco Bell. He was my cousin, and he would just hook me up with free food all the time. So I spent $2 this day, and I got $20 worth of shit. And back then in 2014, in that economy, $20 worth of shit, that's a lot of Taco Bell, okay? A lot. Too much. I ate 2 burritos, and I felt like I was going to die. And then fucking Alex, he ate 2 or 3, and he felt like he was going to die. And we had so much food left that we ended up just giving it to a random family. We walked up, and we were like, yo, we can't finish this. It's all untouched. Take it. And they were like, okay. And they took it. So yeah, free food for them. Anyway, after the Taco Bell endeavor, we walked around a little bit, checked out some stores. I actually ended up buying a really nice hoodie from Zoomies because I ripped a hole in my old one and my mom gave me some money to buy a new one with. So that was nice of her. So yeah, I bought this cool hoodie. And after that, me and Alex just walked around the mall kind of aimlessly, just window shopping, checking out stores and stuff. And it was cool, man. It was fun. Had a good time. And before we knew it, it was 4 p.m. We had to leave or we had to risk getting kicked out because now curfew was in place and me and Alex both weren't 17. So I remember I looked over at Alex and I was like, all right, man, that's 4. You want to just leave? He goes, honestly, man, I say we just risk it. I say we just walk around and we see if we get kicked out. Now, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I had done that before. There's been plenty of times where I would go after curfew with friends of mine and sometimes the mall security just wouldn't care and they wouldn't kick us out or we just happened to not encounter any. So there was a chance that we would just not get kicked out. So I was like, all right, man, if you want to try that, we can try. But if they ask us to leave, let's just leave. I don't want to argue with them. He's like, don't worry, man, I won't. Now, that was kind of a lie, but you'll see. Anyway, so we start walking around, doing what we were doing before, just kind of window shopping, going around stores and stuff. And we end up staying an hour after curfew without getting kicked out. But around 5 p.m. or so, 5:30 is when mall security finally noticed us there. And these 2 security guards approached us outside of one of the stores. And this one guy's like, hey guys, you gotta go. Unless you're 17, you gotta go. And Alex speaks up and he goes, well, we are 17. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, here we go. He's gonna start a problem. He's already lying to them. This isn't gonna be good. And the security guard goes, okay, you're 17. Can I see your IDs? And we're both like, we don't have IDs. Because we didn't have IDs. Literally, we were kids. We didn't have an ID yet. The only thing I had was my school ID, which literally said middle school on it. And last time I checked, 17-year-olds are not in middle school. So yeah, that wouldn't have been good. And one of the security guards was like, well, do you have a school ID or something? A high school ID? Because if you're a high schooler, then you're probably old enough to be here. Now, like I just said, I didn't have that. I only had a middle school one. So I nodded my head no, and so did Alex. And the security guard's like, well, on that note, you guys gotta leave. Unless you can prove that you're 17 to me, you gotta go. And Alex kind of argues back. Alex is like, come on, man. We're obviously old enough to be here. We're not causing a problem. Come on. And the security guard laughs. And he's like, yeah, man, I get it. You guys aren't causing a problem, but you don't look 17 to me. And I gotta enforce the rules, dude. If I don't, I'll get fired. And the security guard was honestly being very cool about it. It's not like he was being a dick. He wasn't trying to abuse his power and act super above us. He was just being like, hey, man, I gotta do my job. And Alex kind of understood that after this and kind of gave up with arguing with him. And we're both like, okay, we'll leave. So we turn and we start walking towards the exit. And while we're walking towards the exit, this other security guard, not the one that was being cool and that was talking to us, the other guy that was being quiet the whole time, he walked up behind me and Alex and he put his hand on both of our shoulders and was walking us towards the door, to which both of us kind of walked away from that. We're like, yo, don't touch us. Stop. Because, bro, we're going towards the door. We're leaving. We're not going to, run away or something. And we were like clearly listening to instruction. Like we literally had an agreement with this other security guard that we were going to leave. So yeah, we kind of didn't like that guy touched us. And we both were like, yo, don't do that. And the one guy, the nice one, even he was on our side. He's like, there's no need to touch him. Like they're going towards the exit. Don't worry. And this other guy goes, I don't trust them. I think they're going to run. And Alex was like, bro, I'm not going to fucking run. I'm going towards the exit right now. Like, calm down. And once again, even the other security guard's like, no, like, they're not going to run. Like, calm down. Like, clearly he's on our side, right? And this other security guard, Mr. Paranoid, he's like, well, I don't really trust you guys. Like, come on, let's hurry up. Let's get to the door. And I was like, all right, bro. And we get to the door and we walk out and we start leaving. But not before Alex turns around and yells at this other security guard, the one that was kind of being, strange towards us. And he yells at the guy, he goes, take your job a little less seriously, buddy, for fuck's sake. And the guy yells back and he's like, get out of my mall. And Alex is like, your mall, motherfucker? This ain't your mall. You work here. And they start arguing and the other security guard like kind of pulls the one security guard inside and like breaks it up. And I pull Alex towards my direction. And we stopped them from arguing very quick because obviously we didn't want to stand there for 10 minutes and listen to them bicker at each other. So after we get out of there, Alex was kind of pissed off. He was like, man, fuck that dude. Like, that dude's a fucking bitch. Like, he's like shit talking him. And I was like, yeah, whatever. At least the other guy was cool. And after that, we were walking outside the outside of the mall. We were like on the outside. It was one big circle, the mall. So we were like walking around the outside parameter. We were going around to the other side because that's towards like where my house was. And we were on the other side of the mall. That's where the exit was that we left. So yeah, we're walking around the outside. And this mall, it was a pretty big mall, right? So there was cops there a lot. They had like police there pretty much 24/7. So you would see cop cars, usually multiple of them, around this outside like circle of the mall. And sometimes they'd be like right outside some of the exits. And sometimes they'd be like right on the sidewalk. And as we were walking around the outside of the mall, we come across this police SUV that is like pretty much parked on the sidewalk. And the driver's side door is just wide open. And there's no police officer in it. And there's an iPhone sitting on the ground, like right underneath the driver's side door of this police car, like pretty much right underneath the door on the concrete. And Alex looks at me and he's like, yo, that's the new iPhone. And I was like, dude, that cop probably got out of his car and like dropped it on accident. Like, let's just put it like on his seat or something. And then Alex kind of has a scumbag idea. He's like, bro, like, what if it's not that cop's? What if it's some random guy's? And like he left it here before he went home and the cop didn't see it. Like, let's just take it. It's a new iPhone, bro. That thing's worth hundreds of dollars. We could sell it right now across the street at this pawn shop. And I was like, bro, no. We're not doing that. Hell no. That's fucking mean. Even if it's not that cop's phone, that's someone else's phone. I would hate if someone took my phone and sold that shit. And Alex kind of like sees the light. He's like, yeah, you're right, man. Like, that is kind of fucked up. My bad for even thinking like that. I was like, you're good, bro. And he ends up picking up the phone and he goes to put it on the seat of the cop car. And he reaches in to put it on the seat. And just as he goes to do that, the cop comes out of the store he was parked in front of this mall. They had like their own little entrance and exit. And the cop runs out and he goes, hey, what are you doing in my car? Now, this doesn't look good for Alex. He's on probation. He's reaching into a cop's car with his phone in his hand. The cop's phone, most likely. And it looks like he's stealing out of the cop's car, bro. It literally looks like he's stealing the cop's phone, like to the cop. Now, obviously, what should have been done next is Alex should have backed up, left his phone on his seat, and been like, hey, officer, I was just putting your phone back. I found it on the ground. And, explain to the police officer the situation, because clearly the cop was on edge and, like, thought that, like, we were trying to, like, steal from him or some shit, or Alex was trying to at least. But unfortunately, Alex panicked, probably because he thought he would go to jail or something, and he turned around and he ran away. But here's the bad part. He ran away with the cop's phone still in his hand, and the cop straight up screams, get back here and give me back my fucking phone. So, yeah, it was the cop's phone. That confirmed it right then and there. So now it really looks bad because it looks like Alex just reached into the cop's car, stole his phone, and then ran. And I'm freaking out because Alex is running and the cop's chasing him, and I'm standing there outside this cop car, and people like that are leaving and entering the mall are looking at me like, what the fuck's going on? So I start running towards them because I'm like, okay, like I'm going to follow them. And if the cop catches Alex, I'll tell the cop, like, look, he didn't do anything wrong. He's just stupid, he freaked out and he ran away. But they were too far ahead of me. I started running like too long after them, and they like kind of just outran me pretty quick. That cop was fast as fuck too. So I end up losing them, right? So I decide to just like give up. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back to the mall. I'll wait there. I'll call up my mom or something, have her come pick me up, and then like explain to her what happened. And maybe she can get him out of this. Maybe she can help Alex, because my mom was friends with some people like on the police department from growing up with them and stuff. So I thought maybe she could like pull some strings. I don't know, right? So I walk back towards the mall. And when I get back to the mall parking lot, there is now 4 more police cars there behind the original one. And I walk back towards the sidewalk, and the cops are giving me kind of a bad look. They're giving me like a dirty look. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, are they waiting for me? Like, what's going on right now? And as soon as I get close enough to them, one of them walks over and turns me around and starts handcuffing me. And I was like, whoa, like, what the fuck's going on right now? Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, what the hell? And the one guy's like, yeah, well, we don't know that yet. You fit the description of this guy we're looking for. And I was like, no, you're looking for my friend. It's not me, I promise. And this cop's like, yeah, that's what they all say. And I was like, no, like, actually, it's not me. But he doesn't listen. He does not listen at all. He cuffs me. He ends up patting me down, finds nothing on me except my phone and my wallet. I even hear him say the words, it's not the same color as Dave's phone, assuming Dave is the cop that got his phone taken by Alex. And he ends up sitting me in the car with the door open. And I'm trying to talk to him and like the other ones, and they're all just ignoring me, right? Completely ignoring me. And I'm freaking out inside. I'm having a fucking panic attack because I'm in the back of a cop car for something I didn't even do. And I don't like that. It's not fun being in the back of a cop car for some shit that you didn't do. Like, it's not good, right? It's not fun. And while I'm sitting there, about 5 minutes later, I'm looking out the window of this cop car, and I see the other cop walking back to the mall with Alex in handcuffs. And I wasn't happy that my friend got arrested and got like caught, but I also was, because now I knew that I would get unhandcuffed and get out of that car and not have to like be in this situation anymore and explain to the police like, yo, my friend wasn't trying to do any harm, you know? But unfortunately, that's not how it went. So they brought Alex back and they put him in the same car as me. And after they put him in the same car, I see the other cop, the original one, that got his phone taken. He pulls his phone out of his pocket and he goes, I got it. And I try and yell at him. I'm like, hey man, like, look, it's not what you think. Like, my friend here is just stupid. We saw it on the ground. I was trying to tell him to pick it up and put it on your seat. He was not stealing from you. And the cop goes, well, if he wasn't stealing from me, why'd he run off with it? And I was like, honestly, man, I don't know. And I turned around and I looked at Alex for some clarification. And Alex straight up says, honestly, I thought I was fucked already for looking like I was stealing from you. So I thought, may as well steal from you. So he basically just admitted that he then had the intention to steal, which was not very smart of him, because now the cop was pissed and very, very upset and very, very angry. And now it kind of confirmed what the cop was, suspicious about. Alex was technically trying to steal his phone now. Originally, that wasn't the plan, but once he saw the cop running towards him, that was the plan. So yeah, I kind of figured that Alex was 110% fucked, to be honest. I was like, yeah, it's done. Alex is going to jail today because he's already on probation. He's already got a record. And he just tried to steal a police officer's phone. Literally one of the worst ideas on earth, right? So we're sitting there in the back of the cop car. The cops are all like in a circle. They're conversing. And they're like in this little circle kind of far away from us, so I couldn't really hear what they were saying. And I just wanted to be let go, dude. I just didn't want to be in the back of that car anymore. There was no point in me being back there. I didn't do anything. I was not in on this. But for some reason, this cop and his friends thought that I was in on this. I don't know. Anyway, we sit back there for about 5 minutes while they're all talking, and the one cop comes up to us, the main one, the original one, the one that got his phone taken by Alex. He comes up to both of us, and he points to me, and he goes, you, what's your name? And I tell him my full name, and he recognizes my last name. He goes, hey, do you have an uncle named this? And that was my uncle. I was like, yeah, I do. And he goes, that's funny, I grew up with him. We lived down the street from each other. And I was like, yeah? And he goes, yeah, how's he doing nowadays? And I was like, good. He's like, man, when he was growing up, he was crazy. He was doing the same kind of stuff that you're doing here today. Like, literally, you're just like him. And I was like, look, I'm telling you the truth, 110%, like, on everything. I had nothing to do with what happened here today. The only thing that I did was tell my friend to leave the phone here for you. That was it. Like, it's all one big, like, just unfortunate situation. And the cop goes, look, whether you had something to do with it or not, you're not getting arrested. You're not going to jail, okay? You didn't take my phone. You didn't run away from me when I tried to stop you. Like, you came back. You're not in trouble. You didn't do anything illegal today, okay? Your friend, however, I can't say the same. And I turn over and I look at Alex, and he's got his head down, just looking defeated, man, looking so defeated. He knew he was 110% screwed because he was on probation already. The cops, by the way, didn't even know that yet. Like, they hadn't looked us up yet. Like, they had my name and they had Alex's name, but they hadn't looked us up yet because they probably just assumed we didn't have a record, or like they just didn't get around to it yet. But a few minutes later, after we were done talking to this cop, he went back to his car and he looked us up. And then things got pretty interesting. So the cop walks back to the car, the one that Alex took his phone. This cop comes back to the car. He opens the door and he goes, "Well, you have quite the record." And he points to Alex. And Alex looks at him and he's like, "Yeah, I know." And the cop goes, "Probation at 15 years old? What are you doing, man? Like, you're a kid. This is way too young for this kind of stuff." And Alex is like, "Yeah, I don't know. I made some bad choices." And the cop goes, "Yeah, you have. Just like today. You made a bad choice." And Alex just goes, "Am I going to jail?" And the cop goes, "Probably. I got to figure this out." And he closes the door and he walks back to his car. And we're just sitting in the back of this other cop car, looking out the window, watching this cop sit in his car on his little like computer. And then at one point I see him on the phone, and the other cops are standing near him as well by his car. And I'm just like really wondering what's going to happen. I knew that I would probably be okay. I knew that like not much was probably going to happen to me because like I didn't do anything really. I knew my mom would be pissed because, you know, having to tell her that I was talking to the cops wouldn't be fun, but I knew I'd probably be okay, right? But I was really worried about Alex. I didn't know what was going to happen. I fully expected to have to watch him drive away in a cop car on this day. Now, about like 5 minutes later, that cop comes back. He opens the door and he goes, "What's your parents' phone numbers?" And I gave him my mom's, and then Alex gave his mom's, and he closes the door again. And Alex looks at me and he's like, "Dude, fuck, like they're calling my mom." And I was like, "Yeah, man, of course they're calling your mom. You just tried to fucking steal a cop's phone. Like, bro, why would you run off like that with it?" He's like, "Dude, I don't know. I thought I was fucked anyway. I thought it was over for me. Like, I thought may as well just try and make some money off it." And I was like, "Dude, like, you wouldn't even make shit off that phone. That pawn shop probably would have given you like $100. And then what was the plan, bro? What was the plan then? Stay on the run forever as a teenager? Like, they're gonna fucking find you. And then what? You go to jail over an iPhone that you tried to pawn? Like, come on, man." And I'm kind of like bitching at him. And he's like, "Yeah, I know. I'm fucking stupid." So, bro, you're not stupid. It's just like you act too much on impulse rather than like thinking sometimes. He's like, "Yeah, I know." And I felt bad for him, man. I really did. The worst part, too, man, is his probation wasn't even that much longer. He was almost done with it. So, yeah, it was unfortunate timing, right? Well, about 15 minutes later, after this cop calls both of our parents, he comes over to the car, he opens the door, and he goes, "Well, I don't normally do this." And he points to Alex. He goes, "I'm going to let you go with a warning. Because even though you're already on probation and I could get you in a lot of trouble, and let me tell you, a shit ton of trouble for you doing this, I'm going to let you go." And Alex, like his face lights up like a child on Christmas that just got a brand new toy. He's like, "Really?" And the cop's like, "Yeah, really." And Alex goes to say thank you, and the cop interrupts him and he's like, "No, listen, that isn't to say that this is without consequence. I talked to your parents. You have to come to the station for this class that we host once a week for delinquent teenagers. It's a month long. On top of that, you have to get your grades up in school. And if they're not up by next term, you have to come back for another class that's a month long at the station. And if I even so much hear that you said a bad word to your parents or police officers or anybody, if you even step out of line once, it won't go as nearly as smoothly as it did this time." And Alex was like, "Deal." And then he points to me, the cop, and he goes, "I talked to your mom. Like, I told her you didn't do anything wrong. She's coming to get you." And I was like, "Okay." And he gets me out of the car, he unhandcuffs me, then he gets Alex out of the car, he unhandcuffs him, and we had to wait for our parents to pull up. My mom pulled up looking pissed as fuck. Alex's mom pulled up looking pissed as fuck. They live pretty close together, so, you know, they got there kind of the same time. And they talked for a little bit before they came up to us. And they both came up to us at the same time. And Alex's mom immediately, like, grabs him by the arm and, like, you know, pulls him over to her car and, like, gets him in the car in the passenger seat. And then she walks back over to the cops and talks to them for a little bit. And I heard her thanking them for being so, like, forgiving. And then my mom came over to me and she was talking to me a little bit. She was actually being pretty cool to me. She wasn't happy that she had to, like, show up and talk to the cops and talk to me. Like, she definitely still looked pissed at me and didn't look happy to be there. But she wasn't, like, yelling at me or, like, telling me that I was in a bunch of trouble or something. But anyway, after that, I went to the car and I waited for my mom while she talked to the cops and kind of just said the same thing that Alex's mom did. And, you know, basically thanked them for being cool with us. And my mom came back to the car. She sat down. And the first thing she said was like, you know that cop knew your uncle growing up? They grew up together. I used to see him all the time when we were kids. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, honestly, you were so lucky that that was the cop that busted your friend. Because I think he went easy on you guys because he grew up with your uncle. And essentially, she was kind of insinuating, like, because that cop grew up with my uncle, that, you know, the cop went easy on my friend. I don't know. I don't know if that's what happened. It probably had something to do with it. But either way, my friend didn't get in nearly as much trouble as he probably should have, right? Anyway, my mom drove me home, and she ended up dropping me off. She had somewhere to go. And she was like, look, you're not grounded. You're not in trouble because you didn't do anything. But seriously, from this point on, you got to pick better friends. You're going to get mixed up in some stuff you shouldn't be mixed up in if you keep hanging out with people like this. And I was like, I know. She's like, seriously. I don't think Alex is a terrible kid by any means, but also, like, he made a huge mistake today. And I was like, yeah, I know. And she goes, all right, well, enjoy your day. And she left to go hang out with her friend or do whatever she had to do. And I spent the rest of that day just on Xbox, playing COD with my friends, talking about the craziness, the madness of what my day was like. And my IRL friends, all of them were like, I'm so happy I didn't go out with y'all today. What the fuck? Like, we just dodged a bullet. And I was like, yeah, you kind of did. Could you imagine if that went down and like all my other IRL friends were there that I asked to hang out? That would have just been so much like even more insane. But yeah, in the end, everything I'd say went a lot better than it could have. Now, if you're wondering what happened to Alex, Alex, kind of like I said in the beginning of this video, he's much better today. And after this happened back in 2014, he actually did like not fuck up at all. And he wrote out the rest of his probation and like, you know, nothing else happened and that got over and done with. And he went to those classes he had to do and he got his grades up. And all in all, Alex fixed his shit. He stepped it up and he did what he had to do. And yeah, he's good. Like today, he's actually way better than he was when we were kids. Like sometimes people just need to grow up. Like it's just a matter of time and maturity. And Alex is very mature now. And I have not seen him have a single problem since like this day pretty much. Like there was a couple things he did here and there that kind of pissed his parents off after this. Like there was one time where me and Alex were both grounded at the same time. And he ended up sneaking out and coming over to my house for like a couple hours and playing games and shit on the Xbox. And that kind of pissed them off, but like nothing insane, you know, nothing that was going to get him thrown in jail. So yeah, shout out to Alex for, you know, I guess turning his shit around. But yeah, also shout out to that cop for being good to Alex and not, you know, pressing the issue and probably getting him in a ton of trouble. And like, he probably would have had to like go to a juvenile detention center or something and like get his probation extended or something, right? Like he probably could have gotten in so much more trouble if that cop didn't go easy on him. But yeah, that's the story. That is the story. Pretty crazy shit, pretty crazy stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you later. Peace.
Take his 401k and I'll put it on my wrist.